Ladies and gentlemen, life can be a wild ride full of unexpected turns, challenges, and moments of profound growth. But through it all, some people seem to walk their path with an unwavering strength, an internal resilience that pushes them forward no matter what. They are the strong women among us, those who face adversity head-on, who stand firm in the face of societal pressures, who carve their own paths when the world tries to limit them. Sometimes, in this pursuit of independence and strength, these women find themselves alone. They find that friendships, like many things in life, can be difficult to navigate. Today we're going to talk about why strong women don't always have many friends. It's not because they're unkind or unapproachable, but because their strength, their authenticity, and their presence can make friendships complicated. Strong women are by nature independent. It's not that they want to shut people out, but their personal strength often means they don't need to rely on others to feel complete. They don't seek validation in the same way others might. They trust themselves, their abilities, and their judgment more than they trust the opinions of others. This can create a disconnect with those who are accustomed to leaning on their friends for emotional support or validation. While independence is generally a positive quality, it can sometimes feel isolating. Friends might perceive a strong woman's self-sufficiency as an unwillingness to connect, or they may feel that there's no space for them in her life. They might sense that their role in her life is unclear, or worse, unnecessary. This isn't because strong women are unwilling to form close relationships, but because they've learned to rely on their own resources rather than seeking external ones. This independence also means that strong women are more likely to set boundaries that others may interpret as distance or disinterest. And while boundaries are essential for mental and emotional well-being, they can sometimes create misunderstandings in relationships. People may feel that they are not needed or that their presence is unimportant. Stress and anxiety shrink, but in reality, these boundaries are just another aspect of the strong woman's strength, enabling her to remain centered and balanced in a world that often demands compromise. Yet it's important to remember that independence doesn't mean loneliness. Strong women can still form deep connections and have meaningful relationships, but they often do so on their own terms. They seek friends who understand and appreciate their need for space, and those friendships are usually deeper and more authentic. As a result, the strong woman's circle of friends may be smaller, but the bonds she shares with those few individuals are incredibly strong. These are not friendships based on need, but on mutual respect, shared values, and an understanding of each other's strengths and vulnerabilities. This independence, while sometimes isolating, is what allows strong women to remain true to themselves. It's a reminder that strength isn't about doing everything alone. It's about knowing that you can. Strong women often live by a code, a set of principles and values that guide their decisions, their actions, and their interactions. This sense of purpose can make them less willing to compromise on the things that matter most to them. They won't just conform to social expectations for the sake of fitting in, and they won't pretend to be someone they're not to please. In many social circles, there's an unspoken pressure to conform, to agree, to follow the crowd, to be part of the majority. But strong women often find themselves standing on the outside of this norm, looking in. They are not afraid to speak their minds, to challenge the status quo, or to say what they believe is right, even if it's uncomfortable. This can make friendships difficult. Those who are more concerned with maintaining harmony or avoiding conflict may find the strong woman's boldness difficult to handle. They may feel threatened or judged by someone who refuses to sugarcoat the truth. Others might view her as confrontational or harsh, simply because she refuses to bend her beliefs. In this way, strong women may inadvertently alienate potential friends who aren't ready to engage with someone who challenges them to think differently. Moreover, strong women tend to be very selective about who they allow into their lives. They won't settle for superficial relationships or friendships that don't align with their core values. They want connections that are meaningful, that foster personal growth, and that are built on trust and integrity. As a result, they may have fewer friends, but those friendships are based on mutual respect and shared ideals. This doesn't mean that strong women are rigid or unapproachable. Rather, they are steadfast in their convictions and expect others to respect and honor those principles. If you want to be close to a strong woman, you must first understand and respect her values. This level of authenticity and transparency can be difficult for some, but for those who share similar values, it can create deep and lasting bonds. The strong woman's unwavering principles may make her stand out in a world that often values conformity. But for those who appreciate strength of character and the courage to live authentically, these women are an inspiration, even if their circle of friends remains small. It's no secret that strong women are emotionally resilient. They have weathered storms, faced hardships, and emerged stronger on the other side. But sometimes this emotional strength can be misinterpreted as emotional distance. People may assume that because a woman has been through difficult experiences and come out stronger, she doesn't need emotional support. In fact, the opposite is true. Strong women may need emotional support more than anyone, but they are often the last ones to ask for it. They've learned to handle their emotions themselves, and as a result, they may not reach out to others in times of need. This can create a perception that they are too self-sufficient or that they don't need anyone. Friends who are used to offering emotional support might find it challenging to offer help to someone who doesn't seem to require it. They may feel like their efforts are unnecessary or unwanted. This can lead to feelings of frustration or rejection, especially if they've been trained by society to view friendship as a mutual exchange of emotional care and support. Yet, the strong woman's emotional resilience is a testament to her strength, not a reason to be pushed away. It's just that for her, strength doesn't mean never needing anyone. It means knowing when to ask for help and when to stand strong on her own. This balance can be hard for others to navigate, which is why her circle of friends may remain small. But the friends who understand and respect this dynamic will be the ones who share a deep, meaningful connection with her. End quote. This emotional strength also means that strong women are often the ones others turn to for support, which can leave them with little time or energy to seek out their own support. It's a paradox that often goes unnoticed. As she carries the weight of the world for others, she may quietly struggle with her own burdens in the background. True friends of strong women recognize that emotional strength doesn't mean emotional invulnerability. They understand that everyone needs someone to lean on, and they're willing to provide that support when it's needed, even if it's not always asked for. One of the most difficult challenges for strong women is the fear of being misunderstood. Their confidence, their drive, and their ability to take charge can sometimes be misconstrued as arrogance or superiority. People may mistake their assertiveness for aggression or their independence for aloofness. This fear of being misunderstood can create a wall around the strong woman's heart. She might hesitate to open up to others, fearing that they won't truly understand who she is or what she's been through. This is especially true for women who have had to fight hard to get where they are. They face judgment, criticism, and doubt along the way, and the idea of exposing their vulnerability to others feels risky. As a result, strong women often keep their true selves hidden behind a protective layer. They may appear reserved or distant, even though, deep down, they long for authentic connection. But the fear of judgment or rejection can keep them from fully opening up to others. This can lead to loneliness, as the woman who has always been able to rely on her own strength may feel that no one truly knows her, or worse, that no one ever will. The more misunderstood she feels, the more likely she is to retreat into herself and become more selective about who she allows into her life. Despite this fear, strong women still crave connection. They just want relationships that are real, ones where they don't have to constantly explain themselves or justify their choices. But finding people who are willing to look past the surface and understand the depth of who they are can be a long, difficult process. In this way, the fear of being misunderstood becomes a double-edged sword. It keeps strong women from opening up to others, but it also drives them to seek out deeper, more meaningful relationships once they find people who are capable of understanding them. Strong women often feel the pressure to be constantly on, to always perform, to always be at their best, and to always inspire others. This pressure comes from both internal and external sources. Internally, strong women hold themselves to high standards, and they want to be the best version of themselves at all times. Externally, society expects them to be role models, leaders, and pillars of strength for everyone around them. This pressure can be exhausting. It's difficult to relax and let down your guard when you feel like you're always being watched, judged, or expected to be perfect. As a result, strong women may find it difficult to be vulnerable with others, as they feel like they can't afford to show weakness. Friends, too, may expect the strong woman to always be on. They may look to her for guidance, advice, or inspiration, and while she's happy to give it, it can sometimes leave her feeling drained. This can create a dynamic where the strong woman feels like she's constantly giving but not receiving much in return. This dynamic can also cause her to lose herself in the process. She may focus so much on being strong for others that she forgets to take care of her own needs. And when she doesn't show up in the way people expect, they may become disappointed or resentful. This can lead to the feeling of being unsupported or misunderstood. In order to maintain healthy relationships, strong women need space to be themselves without the pressure of always being the rock for everyone else. But finding that space can be difficult when everyone around them relies on them to be strong. For many strong women, vulnerability is a difficult thing to embrace. It's not that they don't value emotional intimacy, it's just that they've learned to protect themselves by not exposing their weaknesses. Vulnerability feels risky, especially for women who have had to fight so hard to build their strength. But vulnerability is also what allows people to connect on a level. Strong women know this, but they may feel reluctant to set their guard down. They fear by being vulnerable, they'll be judged, misunderstood, or abandoned. The fear of being vulnerable can cause them to keep others at a distance, even when they want to get close. But this creates a paradox. The very thing that could bring them closer to others, vulnerability, is the thing they fear the most. And so they continue to rely on their strength, even though it leaves them feeling isolated at times. They may even begin to question whether their strength is actually preventing them from having the close relationships they desire. Yet vulnerability is essential for true connection. It's only when strong women are able to let down their walls that they can form authentic bonds with others. But this requires a leap of faith, one that many strong women are reluctant to take. In the end, it's a matter of trust, learning to trust others enough to show their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. Strong women often face unique expectations that others may not understand. They are expected to be both tough and nurturing, independent and empathetic, confident and humble. These conflicting demands can make it hard for strong women to balance their personal lives with their social lives. They may find themselves juggling different roles and expectations, trying to please everyone while still maintaining their sense of self. The pressure to meet these high standards can be overwhelming. It's exhausting to constantly have to prove your worth, to be both a leader and a friend, and to manage the expectations of others while staying true to yourself. These pressures can make it difficult for strong women to form lasting friendships, as they often feel like they are constantly performing rather than being themselves. They may also struggle with guilt when they cannot meet the needs of others. When they can't be the perfect friend, the perfect partner, the perfect employee, they may feel like they're failing in some way. This sense of responsibility can make them withdraw, as they feel like they're not living up to the expectations placed upon them. The reality is, strong women are human. They need space, time, and understanding just like anyone else. They need friends who accept them for who they are, not for who they are expected to be. But finding these friends can be a challenge, especially when the weight of societal expectations is so heavy. So ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that the reason strong women don't always have many friends isn't because they don't want them, but because their strength often creates barriers that make connection challenging. They carry within them a resilience that others may not fully understand, a desire for authenticity that is often met with misunderstanding, and a fear of vulnerability that keeps them at arm's length from the very connections they crave. But just because these women may not have a large circle of friends doesn't mean they don't value the relationships they do have. In fact, the relationships they form are often deeper, more meaningful, and more authentic than many others. And while it may be difficult for some to see beyond their strength, those who do will find that strong women make some of the most loyal, powerful, and inspiring friends a person could have.